What's going on, my friends? It's your boy Dave Sharpe. Welcome to another episode of Wake Up Legendary. This morning we got the West Texan in the house. Let's jump right in. Adam, what up?
How's it going, man? Excited to be here. Doing great.
Good, dude. Good. So, what part of West, what? Give us, for all the Texans who might be familiar with where you're calling in from. Tell us where you're at.
So I live in Lubbock, Texas, which is roughly about 5.5 hours west of Dallas-Fort Worth area.
All right, man. Out in the middle of cow country, right?
That's it, but it's out here.
Yeah. Cool, man. So, what in good Lord and how in God's name did a West Texan boy like yourself come online? I mean, aren't you out supposed to be drilling oil or, I don't know. What do y'all do in Texas, man? It sure ain't internet marketing.
Right. Well, and that's funny is that I was never into any of that. I mean, my family has been farmers and, into the oil fields and things like that. But I was really hooked into more of getting a job and working. I worked in hotels 15 years and then did some other things after that, student housing, things like that. So, but no, I never got into it. And so, Ian from Australia, the entrepreneur guy, he gives me a hard time. He even gives me a hard time, talks about the West Texan, rustling up my cattle and things like that. So I give him a hard time when I talk to him. So
that's funny.
He asks me how much a steak is here. And I'm like, that's about $3. And he's like, oh my gosh,
wow.
30 something here. I'm like, well, I got it in the backyard. So
right, Wagyu style. I'm out massaging my cows, man.
Right.
$3 a ribeye. Man, that's amazing. I would love to have my own food and my own, cattle to be able to have. Wow, that's a bucket list thing, man, for me. And for you, it's like, get me the hell out of here. We always want what we can't have. So no, I'm sure you love your land, brother. Most Texans do. Most Texans have quite a bit of pride. So I wouldn't.
This is true.
Okay. So I want to talk. I'd like you to mix in your story, but I'd like to. You have so much valuable information. I was reading over your answers about just how to win when you're getting started on TikTok, for example. You've been doing well on TikTok. You've got a lot of. As a matter of fact, you suggested that we name this episode "You're Not Shadowband, You Just Need to Pivot." And we've named it "Creating Content That Converts for Any Offer. Here's how." Let's first talk about this Shadowband piece, because it is the quickest when somebody's content is not exploding, blowing up, whatever. What's the first thing that we love to say? Well, I must be shadow banned. Yep. It must be, I must. So it's, I think we've heard that. It's scary because it's the ultimate trick. As it's almost like we don't want to be duped and tricked by TikTok. And that really feels like, oh, I need to really, I'd rather you just shut my whole channel down. Don't shadow ban me. Right. So first of all, Adam, do you believe that shadow banning even exists? And for those who don't know what it is, would you give us your explanation?
Yeah. So I really, in the beginning, when I was going really hard and I was making things happen, I was moving and shaking, and all of a sudden everything just completely stopped. And I thought, what is going on? And then I hear this word shadow ban. I was like, well, that's me. I know that's happened to me, And so what I did was,
you hear the word and it automatically, yep. It's like, well, that must be the reason why I'm not going more viral or whatever. So thank you for pointing that out, and hopefully you all are lit. Have I ever done this? I want you guys to be able to identify with this story. That's why I want Adam to explain it. So continue on. You thought it applied to you. You heard it and you were like, that must be me. What's going on with me?
Right. And so what I started to do was do some research on what Shadowband was. And man, I went everywhere, all over the interweb, trying to figure it out. Started to realize what it is, people think that the algorithm or the TikTok app itself the AI is slowing down your content to where people can't see it and shutting it down as quickly as possible and moving on to something else. Well, really, I started to do some research. That wasn't it at all.
Mm.
I was making my content too long, or I didn't have a hook in the beginning that was working properly. I didn't
Mhm.
have a good story that was working or capturing people with certain things that you could do, as in shifting the way that looked, coming in and out, and then at the end having a really good CTA, call to action. And so, really, at that point, I had to pivot. I took a day off, a couple of days off, and really started to analyze what I was doing
Mm.
and realized, okay, I've got to make some changes. And this is what I did. And I
Okay.
went in and just started making changes with a quicker hook, something with some music that was viral, that was working.
Trending,
And
you mean
yeah,
like
a
some
trending
trending
sound. Yep,
sounds? Yeah.
absolutely. And I went to a shorter time. Normally, I was doing like 20 seconds. I
Mhm.
went down to 15 seconds and sometimes 7 seconds. And boom,
Wow.
things just started rolling
Mm.
because of the things that I learned. And so one of the things I really learned is in a 7 second video, having good content that was just boom, 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 to where it made people have to watch it not once, not twice, but 3 or 4 times, to where they were like, wait a minute, what did he say? What did he do? What did he do there?
Mm.
And it just started to go. And so I had probably,
Nuggets, just it's hailing nuggets right now for the audience. Just, I don't know if anybody's aware right now. It's just I wanted to let everybody know as sort of a meteorologist for this show. It's hailing nuggets, but continue on, Adam.
yep. And so I really dug in at that point and I went full blown. I went from the recommended 2 to 3 videos a day. I went to 4 to 5.
Mm.
And I really started to push 4 heavy new pieces of content. And when I had enough good content in previous posts, I would use that as a late last post, 10 o'clock at night. I would repurpose something. And I
Mm.
could not tell you the difference that it made, to where um, I then had to learn how to focus on my replies to people, to not, then you, to me, it
New
became,
problems, new problems. Thank
yep,
you. Because a lot of people
exactly.
think that once I get this going, it's going to be, but then you've got problems that might not be oh, I'm so broke and I'm out on an island in isolation problem. But now all of a sudden you got too many comments, you got too many views, you got too many leads. So just understand, folks, that entrepreneurship is about solving problems. It's not
Yeah.
about making problems altogether go away, except the annoying ones of having to always obsess over the right side of the menu when you go to dinner. You want that problem to go away, we could possibly help with that. But in terms of eliminating all challenges, um, but what a good problem to have. Continue.
Yeah. And so then that's when I learned that phase one, your where I pivoted was a hook, good content, and a call to action. Well, I had
And
to almost,
shortening.
and shortening.
And
Yeah,
shortening.
absolutely.
Yep.
Shortening down the TikTok video to where I was really getting people involved more, to where they wanted to ask more questions.
Mm.
But then at that point is when I started to also realize I needed good content to be able to bring to people, to have them pull them off of an app into my Facebook posts. And so
Into
I
your
had to,
Facebook post.
yep.
Okay.
And so I had to pull them out of that, because I wanted to be able to touch them in a different direction, or be able to speak to them more directly, more of a length of time. So
Hmm.
I had to learn how to do really a hook again with the messaging that I was giving them, so that I could understand. And this is where it really became, I had to learn, was the hook had to be me opening up and explaining, hey, you may not know what this is, affiliate marketing. Tell me where you're at on this journey. Explain to me. And man, it just flooded. People started asking questions. Oh, I don't know this. I don't know anything. I know a little bit. And learning how to navigate through that in my messages to get them over to Facebook was a challenge in the beginning, because, I not only had 2 or 3 people asking questions, I had 20, I had 50, I had 100 people asking questions. And so, like you said, Dave, is you learn to become From your mistakes, you learn so much of what not to say, but also what to say, and to open up dialogue with the people that are reaching out to you to see how you can do things online. You're muted, bro. You're muted.
I want to mastermind and brainstorm with you a little bit on this idea, because I'm curious, and I wanna know why you're taking people from TikTok and over, I would assume, into a Facebook group, and then giving them the opportunity to comment, watch an introduction video or probably a welcome video in your group that's pinned to the top, and then they can comment on that post.
Yep.
I absolutely see the value in that, and I absolutely think that building community and so forth. Obviously, we have a thriving Facebook group, and we're doing this live on Facebook, and it's a love-hate relationship with Facebook. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
Yep.
I don't love everything about Facebook. I hate a lot of things about Facebook. But so let me ask you this: all of y'all who are dealing with the comments that are blowing up in the post and all this, and trying to reply to everybody, I mean, why not extend your bridge page video as you guys get more, talented, able to talk about this stuff intelligently, answer questions? Why did you choose, and maybe you didn't even consider the bridge page piece that I'm asking, but what I'm trying to understand is, right now a lot of affiliates, they have the same problem, okay? Because TikTok, you can blow up, and now you have 1,000 replies, and everybody feels like they need to respond to every comment. And so why not extend and broaden your bridge page video so you can absolutely get the opt-in? And then once you get the email opt-in, and you can promise something on that bridge page video. Hey, look, I don't answer questions, I don't reply to comments, but I'll give you my email address, and you can ask me any question, on my website or something like that. So my question is, why push people to Facebook immediately right off of TikTok versus first get the opt-in by pushing them to a landing page, and then even offer the Facebook group once they opt in? Or are you also doing that?
Yeah, so I do offer that as well, somewhat. I kind of see the value in what you're saying too. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
a nugget that he just dropped there as well. So I think it's more of us understanding um, there's multiple ways to do this. I think
Yeah.
really in the beginning, what happened was um, the fear of losing that particular one sale in the beginning kind of matriculates over, and so you freak out when you don't respond to someone. Now
Yeah.
it got to the point to where I really started to realize I couldn't. There was just, I mean,
Yeah.
I would spend seriously 6 hours a day going through comments, replying, then still trying to get them to understand. I would still have conversations on, um, the TikTok Messenger, direct
Yeah.
message, and
I
so.
just see everybody thinking that they need to respond to people in the comments, and it's like, those are not your most qualified people.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
those are not your most qualified people who are just leaving a comment on a post. I mean, a lot of times people will comment on something just because of that is literally why they exist on the internet, is to
Yeah,
leave comments. Whereas, Adam, I would assume you exist on the internet because you ain't here to play around, right? I mean, you don't mind
right.
scrolling every once in a while, but you're trying to build a business. So you got people who are absolutely looking at this as just it's just a social media app. It's nothing, and I'm leaving a comment. So why would I want to spend my precious time when probably at least 50% of those comments are probably people who are never going to do anything?
Right.
Um, so instead, what I would prefer to do is, and this is actually the suggestion that I gave to somebody over the weekend who said that, hey, I'm trying to respond to everybody's comments. I said, make videos, pull out the most common questions from those comments, and then make videos. And instead of trying to respond to everybody, which you're never going to do, and you're going to end up hating this your business, instead, make videos, follow-up videos with the most common questions. And in those videos, create hype. Look, I get so many messages and so many comments. I can't respond to everybody, but I'm going to answer the most common question, you know, and then you can do a part 1, part 2, part 3 of totally overwhelmed inbox series, you know, and you make it fun. There's no rules. And I'm talking to everybody here, Adam,
Yeah,
because I hear
that's great.
this, you know, so often is that, you know, yeah, I'm going to go back to post that I've already created and posted and try to go into those people have already moved on. They don't even likely remember. And there is a big theme, or I guess rumor, or maybe it's true for some people, but the people who are commenting out there do not always respect you more if you go back and respond to every comment. You do not build more authority by doing that.
Right.
I'm sorry, but human beings pursue people more when they're ignored, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to say this. I wish it wasn't the truth. I really do. I wish we weren't so immature or weird as human beings, but we are. And oftentimes, in my opinion, when somebody is going back and responding to every comment, it makes them look like they don't have a whole lot else to do, you know.
Yeah.
And so instead, again, for some of you, and again, Adam, if this, I just want to share also what I was thinking about this weekend that kind of applies to this, which is if you get a post that blow up, don't go, you know, going back and getting stuck in the weeds is, I think, the least powerful way you can seize that opportunity, by going back and getting lost in the weeds of the comment of that post. Instead, use the comments as content ideas to answer more questions for all the common questions that are coming up, or all they may not even be questions. If people are making comments, if people are making negative things, then man, that's the most potent content you could make, because it's fresh out of the horse's mouth. And
Absolutely.
you're also picking up themes and patterns of what there's probably going to only be about 4 or 5 major themes in all of the comments. So it's fairly easy. And the other thing that I think a lot of people don't realize that I've done, and it's just because at this point it's natural, but it's you have to create excitement. You have to create excitement about what's next, about what you're doing next, about what's coming next, about where you're going. You know, people want to go and follow somebody who's going somewhere, you know, who
Right.
has a vision, you know, who everybody's commenting on their stuff and they don't have time to get back to them, right? I mean,
Right.
go on any celebrity, anybody's post, and see if they're at all existed in their comments. They're not at all. And I'm not saying you guys should not comment and interact and close via DM. I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, but I'm saying that the game nowadays, if you've got a video that takes off, Adam, you could have 500 messages. I mean, you could have, you know, at the very least, if you're going to respond to every message, get a VA. And don't, I see a lot of people who are exhausting themselves trying to get to every message in every DM. And instead, what I'm sort of suggesting here is, how can I take this event and then I don't want to ignore the opportunity of one-on-one and all that, but not if it overwhelms me and doesn't produce a lot of results anyways. Instead, take the questions, the content, the comments, turn it into more content ideas, create more hype, and invite everybody on. Say, hey, if you guys, I'm going to answer all your questions. Is all you got to do is click the link in my bio. I'm doing a live free training this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, or at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And now all of a sudden, you're pushing all those people on to opt in to an email list to then. So now what? Well, after that webinar, I can offer something on the webinar, but now I also got all these highly qualified people's email addresses who were interested, who opted in for the webinar. And then I can follow up with them with the replay and say, these bonuses are available for the next 48 hours only. So now you've taken a simple TikTok that went viral, and instead of going back and trying to close everybody one-on-one, and you probably will close people. There's no, if if that's something that you're going to try to become good at, you will close people. But also, when we talk about the cash flow quadrant and getting from the left to the right hand side of that, there's a difference between the thing that makes somebody a business owner is using system and lever or having leverage from systems and people. So if you're doing all the work yourself, responding to the comments and so forth, you're actually really still behaving in a self-employed way is also my point. And so,
good.
and that's not particularly a bad thing at the beginning. Okay. But as you have multiple videos go viral and this becomes a problem, there's no way that you're going to be able to keep up if you continue creating good content like you're doing, Adam.
Right.
What's coming up for you as I'm saying some of this stuff? And I'm just trying to stretch everybody a little bit to think more about systems and leverage through systems and people versus, the sort of the hand-to-hand combat, the guerrilla marketing of getting in there and trying to respond to so many comments and then messages on top
Well, I
of
think
that.
what you're doing really is you're giving people freedom to understand, look, there's a better way to do this. Dave's done this. He's been through this. He understands the process. And I'm not going to say they're few and far between, but there are those moments to where you have momentum that you really need to capture. And
That's it.
that's to me is extremely important because, like you said, you can get bogged down in the weeds. I've done it, but I've also seen those moments to where you have the momentum and you use that. And
Yes.
so I
Instead
think
of letting it bog down. Look, I mean, I've got Bob Joseph right here who says, I was in comment hell last night. What, guys, listen, there's no need. You have a good problem here. This is a good thing. And I've seen way too many people in this community. And maybe today is a shift. I don't know. Maybe we start getting loud about this, but we have to stop behaving in this way to where we want to, in my opinion, jump back in and do kind of the, jump back into the weeds and get lost in the weeds and go right back into that hand-to-hand combat. We have to keep, I think, stepping back in our business and saying, okay, what's the expansion move here? Not the contraction move. But what's the expansion move? How do I grow this? And how do I think you mentioned a big point. You got momentum. You're excited. You got a video taken off. And then how do you feel after you've just responded to 1,000 comments? And I mean, you're exhausted.
Yep.
So I'm
sitting here and I think, I'll be honest with you, if I start to think when that happens, we start to get that hourly mindset instead of the CEO of our business mindset.
Yeah.
And like you said, step back, think expansion, think about the momentum you can use to expand your business instead of dropping down back into that desk clerk mindset. I've got to respond to everything that's in front of me. Step back, see if things different.
And that's, I think, the CEO, and there's nothing wrong with being at any level in any company. There's nothing wrong with being an hourly employee at a company, but you understand that you have likely a job in front of you, and it's clear. But if you're running an operation and you truly are either the owner, operator, or CEO, you have to use your time really wisely. Because if you don't, then you will absolutely get pulled into situations that at the end of the day, you'll go, I can never get this day back. I just wasted that time. And you only get 365 days in a year. And after weekends, much less. So, probably about 250. So, 250 days in a year, we got to use each day wisely. And for me, again, I'm always asking myself, and this is, I think, something to write down to remember what we're talking about. How can I go and speak one to many versus one-on-one? There is always a time and a place for one-on-one. Always a time and a place for one-on-one. But if I can speak one to many, then let me try to do that first. And then if that doesn't work, I can have a fallback campaign, or at least let me qualify people better. So let me qualify, and that's why I suggested the webinar campaign, the Q&A.
Yeah.
Okay, because at least look, if I'm going to respond to, I don't mind responding to you, Adam. You're the man. You've earned my time. But somebody who's done absolutely nothing and is just trolling my post, they don't deserve my time. So let me make people jump through a few more hoops to really show to me that they are interested and they're worth my time. And usually that's just them either opting in, showing up to a webinar, coming back to a live that you're doing later that night. There's all kinds of different ways for you to have more leverage, or for us as the marketers to have more leverage and not get lost in the weeds. So that was a major diversion there of our conversation, but I hope it was valuable. I just have heard this come up so much, and I think that we need to start focusing on this a bit more in our community, because I think it's becoming a challenge for people as they get in and they have stuff start taking off. And it's like, okay, do I go and respond to all these comments, or do I do something different?
And I think you're right, Dave. I think what happens is that's what causes burnout. That's what hurts a lot of people, is that they're stuck for 6 hours and they look up and they've missed an opportunity, and then they've got to really try to build that momentum again. Maybe not from the ground floor, but they've got to start to build things again. And so one of the things that I have going now is I have 2 other guys that are in Legendary that are working through this as well, just like I am, that we started a group together just on texting each other. Hey, I'm going to try some content like this time and see how this works. I got this response, and so I'm thinking about going this direction and trying this. I'm going to try these 3 types of posts this week and see how this goes. I'm really seeing that is valuable information, but also it broadens you out to where I don't feel like I'm in this alone. Not to say that I do, but we, as people that are trying to be entrepreneurs, we do get into that mindset of feeling alone, or feeling that, I've got connections to where I can ask questions, but if I'm relatively in time that I'm in a struggle moment, or I really need someone to look at something for me right now, it's great to have a couple of guys or a couple of people where I feel they can jump in there and be like, no, man, you're hitting it, or I think you need to tweak this. I really think that's important. I really do.
Well, absolutely. I mean, man, we got blind spots, and I mean, we're only all doing exactly what we think we should be doing. I mean, what we think we're supposed to be doing, and quite frankly, you all are. I mean, even you, Adam, and I did the same thing. I mean, shit. Anybody? I mean, when I first got started out, anybody who was willing to watch the video, I'm like, yo, you watching? Are you watching? I'm like totally, desperate for a view, and ready to pounce up on anybody who needs anything. But there is an element of that we need to, what would my day look like if I had $1 million business and had multiple major traffic sources and was generating 20, 30, 40,000 a month in affiliate income? What would my time look like? What I need to act like that. Okay, I need to act like that. I need to act as if I'm already successful. And I need to begin to build my business and my day and how I protect my time like that. Otherwise, I'm not going to get there. It's not going to just one day, the skies are going to part and God himself is going to come down and say, it is now time for you to move on to the next phase of your business. I mean, that's not going to happen.
Right.
You have to recognize that you have, well, if we're speaking about God, free will. I mean, it's up to you. I don't know how else to say this so everybody understands it, but we at Legendary don't say when you can move on to being the man, we don't hand out certificates here. I mean, maybe we should, but I would prefer not, because you need to act as if you're $1 million successful CEO on day one, unfortunately. Well, how do I do that, Dave? That just feel inauthentic. Well, it's a mindset. I need to begin to look at my time. That's how we do it. Look at my time. It's not that I walk around like an arrogant ass. It's that I just look at my time as if it was in such high demand that every minute counts. And so do I want to spend the next 2 hours responding to DMs, or do I want to spend the next 2 hours mapping out a funnel, a campaign that I can run over the next 3 days that can capitalize on this momentum from this video that just went viral? And for me, I'm choosing the latter every time. Yeah. The minute that I have a video that goes viral or something takes off, I'm just like you said, I'm building on that momentum. I'm answering questions in the next videos that I'm posting that are answering questions, because these people are giving me all this great content. And boy, do I have something that I want to reveal to all of you now that I know you're actually interested in this. I'm actually going to show you the #1 strategy to go viral on TikTok and make money on an app that you're already using. So show up to my webinar tonight. I'm doing it on Zoom and I only have 100 spots. So go click the link in my bio and register right now. Boom. Now you've just generated and grown your email list. And all those people who go and opt in, those are really the qualified people. Now you can also follow up with them after the webinar. So now you're just creating all this momentum and you're getting email opt-ins. And you know what? The people who are really interested, you can also come back and you can say, hey, you all, I get a lot of messages every day, but today is the day. Today is the day that I'm actually, for the next 2 hours, going to monitor my inbox and answer any question that you guys have. So if your question's important and you want me to answer it, the next 2 hours. So all these time limited things, this is what we're missing a lot in our marketing, is that we're not making it urgent enough. You got to make it urgent, and then it's got to end. Because if it doesn't end, then Adam, if you tell me, Dave, come on over to the house anytime over the next couple of weeks, man, and you know my wife, she makes that meatloaf, man. She's going to be making it every night, you know? And I'd be like, right, man, I get over there. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you're like, yo, my wife's making that meatloaf tonight, homie, last time you were over, you said it was the bomb. Right. And it's going to be gone. There ain't going to be a little leftover. Bro, I'm over there. I'm trying. Right. So anyways, that urgency and also that scarcity. See, if I do that webinar and I offer some bonuses, hey guys, if you got a lot of value, did you get value from this webinar today? Yeah. Leave me a comment. Let me know. The comments start blowing up. Well, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 3 more of these coaching classes. Absolutely live. And in the first one, I'm going to take you through and show you exactly how to get set up. And here's what I'm going to do. Normally, I would charge for this $200, $500, $1,000. I don't know how much is your time worth. Normally, I would charge for this. But for the next 48 hours, I'm going to let anybody who enrolls or who buys the product that I'm recommending, I'm going to include those next 3 webinar coaching sessions for free. But you have to buy in the next 48 hours. So now all of a sudden I'm creating campaigns with urgency and scarcity out of a viral video. And again, Adam, I'm not saying that's the only campaign we could run, but it's an idea of a campaign that we can run from a simple viral video. As you said, I'm just using your own words, building on that momentum.
I think it's great because what you do now is you create, like you said, you create that urgency. But just in this conversation that's been going on for 34 minutes, think about the nuggets that you have dropped here just from having a conversation. That's why it's so important for these Wake Up Live calls, I think. To me, they're extremely valuable because of just what has just happened from what you brought to the table. And so I know that I will go back, not because I'm on this one, but I'll definitely download this to watch this again, to have these conversations, to write down more. Yeah. So I think it's important for people to understand what's happening within what you're saying.
Well, and it's not to say that you can't do everything that we've been doing, that we all do when we first get started, which is all the grinding and really, the one-on-one messaging. I get it. Phone calls. I did one-on-one calls when I first got started. Anything to close, sales to get business off the ground. And that is appropriate for the first phase of your business. And a lot of you are getting through the first phase a lot faster than we did when I got started, because there was no platforms where you could get this sort of traffic back multiple years ago, dude. Like, I'm serious. This is all a new problem that
Mhm.
when I say problem,
Right.
right? It's a problem. This is all a new problem that we're having. Is that you guys, the platforms have gotten more potent. And for all of the ignoramuses out there who think that, it's all going to disappear, these platforms are only going to get more potent. And for the average person like you and me, they're going to be more and more powerful, because the platforms are realizing that we hold the power. If you're not going to treat me right and pay me for my content, I'll take it to YouTube. I'll take it to Facebook. I'll take it where they're going to pay me 100 million to bring it over to Spotify, like Joe Rogan did, right?
Yeah.
So content platforms are competing for us now, and they're rewarding us with better algorithms. Back in the Facebook days, and even still with Facebook, you can't really be exposed to anybody who's not your friend unless they share it. Whereas TikTok's now figure out a way to put our content in front of people who we're not connected to.
Right.
And so they built a better algorithm for us. And so, we still, though, so it's different. It's different than it was even 5 years ago. But I'd say the principles are still the same, because even whenever I've ran in one of my last big affiliate promos before we started Legendary, I was actually I was selling an annual thing worth of training similar to what we teach here. I was selling an information product. And my favorite campaigns are the simple little short campaigns that I run to my list, where I invite people onto a webinar, and then on the webinar I offer bonuses for them to buy the affiliate product, and then I make that available for a couple of days. And the surge in sales that I see from that is just, it's unlike anything else. And that's what I would always do with my list. And this was without TikTok and all these. So nowadays, I think we have an opportunity as affiliates to have evergreen traffic that's coming through just from us posting content on platforms like TikTok. But the ultimate goal is to get those people on our email list, because then I can crank up these campaigns where I'm inviting my list. Hey, look, guys, and I can even email my list. Imagine this. Say I have a video that goes viral on TikTok. And now certainly I can create videos on TikTok that I post on TikTok that build on that momentum, that say, hey, I'm answering questions and I'm having a training coming up, but I'm also simultaneously emailing that webinar to my list. And I'm telling them, hey, I'm going viral on TikTok right now, and I've got thousands of comments, and it's way too many comments for me to get back to and actually even get to. So what I'm doing is I'm putting on a free training this Friday, and I'd love you to come be a part of it as well. Here's what you're going to get if you show up, right? And now not only have I used the momentum from a TikTok video to create more momentum and hype on my TikTok, but now I've also brought my email list into the new campaign. And I like that, because it really allows me to give the people what they want, versus me always manufacturing campaigns. I'm building off of something that's natural and organic, which is a video that went viral, versus me just coming up with something out of nowhere, emailing. I'm saying, hey, I got a video that goes viral. It feels more natural, and then people on the list are like, holy shit, he's blowing up on social media. Like, let's figure out what the hell's going on,
Right. He's got something that I need to see. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
Well, I think it's great stuff, man. I really do. And I think it's, with a lot of the things that I've been doing on my live, would definitely discuss, kind of what you're talking about, but I would really try to help people understand the market itself, how it's not saturated, how
Yeah.
it's we're just so infinite in where we're beginning, that I mean, the big thing I would tell people is there's over 7 billion people in the world, and there's over 4.5 billion people that are on the internet.
Yeah.
And out of that, I mean, it's just ridiculous. They spend 2.5 hours a day on social media, and they have 6 different social media accounts. I mean, it's infinite almost to what you can do, who you can touch.
Yeah.
It's just learning the process and being comfortable being that CEO of your business.
And it's also I like that. It is getting comfortable. And what that's making me think about is, you know, this isn't going away. It's not even remotely saturated. And what's happening right now, like the things that we're using right now with TikTok or whatever, may not even be what we use in a year. TikTok may be gone, but it'll be similar. So learning how to navigate an app, on a cell phone, on a smartphone, is something that's a skill that everybody should if they want to run a business in 2022, they should learn how to use your thumb and navigate around on some of these apps. It's a real simple thing, and um, it's awkward at first. Um, we were just my wife and I have some friends in, and we were joking last night about how their parents, how we're tech support for our parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is my wife is tech support for them, and sometimes I need her tech support too. I mean, the truth of the matter is that you don't have to be a technical genius. You just have to know. And I have never gotten into fancy graphics, fancy editing, fancy anything. And my websites and my landing pages and my sales pages are always all huge white space or black background. So it's always just about the message. It's always just about, and that's why I say you don't need to get fancy. You just need to know how to do the most basic things on whatever app that you're using. And the same with your click funnels or your funnel builder. A lot of you think you're going to build some big, for Christmas sakes, it's just a simple thing. Just get it set up and then leave it alone. I mean, we think we need to be funnel masters. It's like we're not, but you need to get to a point to where you don't you just I know people who set up their funnel and don't even touch it for a year. It's not something that you need to tinker over and become some programmer. And Adam, I'm saying this because is this something that you hear, and even something that you thought was the technical challenge is going to be the wall that's going to keep me from getting into this?
It is. I hear that probably that's about 40% of the problems that I hear, is people saying, "Hey, I'm technically illiterate. I can't figure it out." And that's when I explain. I'm like, "Just relax." I too had no clue how to build a funnel slash website. I didn't understand that stuff. And I said, and technically, that's really not the biggest piece of your business. It is imperative that you have one, absolutely. But what you're wanting to do is create the content, drive people to that. You're wanting to build that momentum. And
Mm,
so your part is creating content. And I explained to it like this. And every one of my lives that I would do, I would say it is a gear within your business, and you pushing your content is you moving those gears to get things going in your business.
yeah,
All that funnel is a piece of the gear, just like your email automation sequence. Those are all gears that are working your machine to where it works 24 hours a day, and your
yeah.
content is what keeps pushing that out and making those gears work.
Very true. Lifeblood of the business has become content. Has become, and this is true in multiple in multiple niches, man. I like watches, and got a collection of watches. So sometimes I'll watch some watch content, or um, Instagram post or whatever. And it's so funny because even those guys know that content is king. And they know that, and many of them, the smart ones, have built their business by just documenting their daily deals, or holding up their watches or inventory in front of their phone, and just kind of just simply bringing the people who they can kind of into their world a little bit, and letting them just, and that has exploded their businesses. The guys who have these YouTube channels or these TikTok channels who are simply selling watches, they're not, it's a totally different industry and niche, have more leads and more people hounding them for watches. These guys are, it's just unbelievable, the difference in exposure and how big you can build your business. I was talking to a friend the other, when you use the strategies that we teach,
Right.
they apply to anything. I was talking to a friend who has a landscaping business, and I said, look, and it's a specialty landscaping business. It's not, simple landscaping. It's a specialty landscaping with edible landscaping and all this. I said, look, there's a girl out of Texas, and she's a bee. She goes and she rescues big bee. Maybe somebody's seen her before and knows her handle, but she's on TikTok and Instagram, and she's in a weird niche. She goes and rescues bees, and and she films it. And short little, like you say, 15-second videos on TikTok. And she's got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers. And I said, the difference in how your business is struggling right now is you're kind of marketing to your friends on Facebook, trying to get them to buy your different things. And that's what we all do, right? When we start a business, we post on Facebook, started a business, post a couple of pictures, no likes, because it's weird. Everybody goes into the witness protection program when you start a business, all your friends and family. But I said, you'd be amazed if you got on TikTok and you started creating content the way that we teach how to create content, and started driving people to an email list, and practice this model almost to a T of just exactly what we do. And on the bridge page, just have a call to action to have a free, landscaping plan built up on the phone for free that they can either take and implement on their own, or they can hire you to implement it for them. Right. Yeah. Which is the best offer. Like if somebody said, gun to my head, come up with an offer in 30 seconds that might work for this business, that would always be the offer that I would come up with, is driving traffic, free gift or something to get them to opt in, free training. Let me show you how to grow your landscaping business. Let me show you how to grow your roofing business and double your leads without any advertising cost. And then on the bridge page, I'd say, hey, I will build out a marketing plan for your roofing company, or I will build out a marketing plan for your landscaping company. And you can either go, and when I used to do coaching in the marketing space, I'd say, I'll build out a marketing plan or a funnel for your business, and you can hire me to help you implement it, or you can go and implement it yourself. You'll have the plan. Who won't show up to a call like that? Right. So now all of a sudden you got the person who's struggling for business locally. Now all of a sudden they become almost the celebrity as they build their audience on TikTok. Maybe it takes 6 months on social media, but now this landscaper who is struggling for business locally has more leads than they know what to do with, and a waiting list of people who are looking to fly them out all around the world. Or you begin to create information products. Do it yourself. Do it at home. I was actually telling my friend this the other day, blowing her mind, because I'm like, and why would you even want to do the work if you can just create like a little course or do a Saturday workshop on Zoom? What if you did a Saturday workshop on Zoom where you took people out and explained and showed them live in your garden? I mean, the possibilities are endless, and your income is only kind of, it's your creativity. Your income grows with your creativity and how we come up with these campaigns, right?
Right.
There's no rules, Adam.
None.
Like Texas, baby.
Do what you want. Wild, wild west, brother.
carrying guns and shit. I mean, y'all are crazy as hell out there, man. I was in Texas. I saw a dude walk into a 7-Eleven with a gun on his waist. I'm like, damn, bro, chill. He's like, what's wrong with this guy? You know what I mean? So,
and that's just my normal afternoon at a 7-Eleven, man. I see that happening all the time.
So, what we got to do a follow up where you talk. I mean, I've been just I must be in a spunky mood this morning or something because I've just ranted. So, but leave us with a final piece of but it's your work and it's your results that have gotten me fired up this morning, Adam, and that's one of the reasons why I still do this show, is because I want you coming in and doing this at the very beginning of your journey gets me fired up, brother.
Well, thanks, man. I enjoy it. This is so much fun. I think with this, I it's like a drug. You really, people out there, they'll always sit there and say that. I know with me, this is the way it was for years. Is that I had jobs and they did great, but I always knew there was a piece that I was missing somewhere. There was something that I wanted to do and prove to myself, and this is it. And this is something that I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've got a notepad, and this is no joke. And I'll write down things that I'm like, oh wow, I've got to do this. I've got to talk about this on my live. And so I just love to be able to tell someone here tonight or today is just to say to them, be confident in the direction that you're going. Every day is going to be a new journey. Some days you may not get everything done that you want, but believe in yourself. Know that you can do this. This is something that can change your life, but you have to believe that it can and have that dream. Because I know it can happen. I see it happening in front of me in my very own eyes, in my life, and in others that I'm trying to help as well. And Dave, I'm going to be honest, this really goes back to watching the very first video that I saw of you and just explaining in that the 15-day challenge how you can do this. This is something to where you can really step into things. And so I appreciate what you guys bring. It is so valuable. And the way that you have helped me to understand, to put my finger on the pulse of what we do, to be able to learn how to pivot and be comfortable in that. And like you said today, having that big, broad mindset, you've got to, sometimes you get stuck in the weeds, you do, but that's why it's important to be able to have these conversations like this and be able to step into a Wake Up Live and hear great nuggets that are dropped. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I want to still be able to offer something here on these Wake Up Legendaries. I do try to highlight the story of people like you. And I remember I sat in your chair back a couple 10, 11 years ago, something like that. And I was invited onto a webinar or live show or something back then. I can't remember what it was, a webinar, or maybe it was a Facebook Live. I can't remember if they had Facebook Live back then, but it was some sort of an interview. And shit, I might even be able to find it real quick. It's hilarious. I was just as fired up to come on. Look at this, man. Let's take us a little look. We'll do a little travel. Damn it! Go to system preferences. My dadgum Chrome is not letting me share my. Hey, is anybody else on? Matt, are you on? Could you share your screen? I just, for some reason, I can't share my screen. But anyways, if you look up David Sharpe, MLSP, you'll see 11 years ago, I was interviewed by a lady named Roxy, and I'm right there on YouTube, and I was just as excited to come on. There he is. So David Sharpe, MLSP, but go to YouTube. It's on YouTube. There it is, right there. Member of the month. The member of the month. If you go up, who's sharing? Is that you, Adam?
That's not me, no.
Oh, it's Matt. Okay, yeah. Click. Hey, look at that.
My lead system.
Look at that baby face. Come on. Come on, member of the month right there. You know what I mean? Like I had came from network marketing, and you know, I was chasing people around. You can go and watch it. I mean, David Sharpe, MLSP, anybody can go and check that out. But that's 11 years ago. I mean, I was so excited to be on a show too, dude. And so like, I remember that feeling, you know what I mean? Like of being recognized for my new efforts that I mean, quite frankly, even deep down inside, I was pretty doubtful that I was going to be able to, you know, succeed. I mean, I had my own imposter syndrome, just like everybody else. But you know, I was doing network marketing, dude. I was doing network marketing, and I was sucking so bad at it, that I came online and I found some training of how to generate leads online. And I was like, I'm screwed doing the network marketing. I'm just going to sell the training to other struggling dumbasses like me. And that's how I got started in affiliate marketing, dude. You know, I was like, this is the best thing ever. I'm just going to stop digging for the gold, and I'm just going to get over here on the side of the road, and I'm going to sell the picks and shovels to the other dumbasses who are going there trying to find the gold.
That's brilliant.
You know, so anyways, man. All right, well, let's wrap it up because I've got an 11 o'clock and I'm sure you got lots to do in Texas, my brother. So thanks for coming on. We'll schedule a follow-up so we can,
That'd be great.
You know, learn more about your journey here in a couple of months. I'm sure there'll be lots new to talk about. And keep up the good work. I'll put your handle up here so people can go connect with you. And thanks for your time, brother. Thanks for your time,
Absolutely.
Adam.
I've had a great time. Thanks so much, Dave. And have a great day and a great week.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right, my friends, go and follow Adam, _West_ Texan 1 is his handle. _West_ Texan 1, the number 1 at the end. Lot of experience, and even an old trip down memory lane this morning there at the end. So meet us back here tomorrow. We'll try to have another powerful conversation, see what comes up. You never know. And quite frankly, I never know either. I never know where we're going with these and where we're going to end up. I think that's part of the fun of it. Make sure that you text WUL to the number on your screen so you can get a little text message reminder as soon as we go live. Hit a link and you'll be on the show. See you tomorrow. Get your booties out of here and let's make this week a kick-ass legendary.